Alrighty, today we're going to still make another batch of kombucha, but I thought I'd make it a different way this time, mainly because I'd like to experiment with different ways and encourage you also as my subscribers and viewers to have a go at different styles of processes of making kombucha. This one is quite a simple one, and you'll see I'm going to make quite a fair bit of kombucha. I've got a lot of kombucha over here ready to go, and it's quite nice. Alrighty, now if you're wondering how to make certain things, see my other video on making kombucha I made first, and it'll show you how to make the tea syrupy. I'm going to show you some of it today. Alright, first thing you do is just pull out the tea bags. Now these tea bags probably been soaking for nearly 36 to 48 hours. So it shows that you can soak them for quite a while. I reckon it brings out the tea flavour. Now, one of the things that the SCOBY, the mother, the bacteria and yeasts and stuff within the kombucha feed on is actually the tannin as well as the sugar. The more you can get that tea out, the tannin out of the tea, the better. That's about a 2 litre container I'm making a mess with there. It will survive. Okay, so yeah, just squeeze out the tea out of the bags. Then to try and help the sugar dissolve into the tea syrup, that's what I call it, add some more water. Okay, this water is just water out of the tap. It was chlorinated, I will say that. It's not fluoridated, but it was chlorinated. I just pour the water in out of the tap, leave it open for a day, 24 hours, and then I use it. And it hasn't yet killed any of my kombucha after several years of making it. So if you can't, don't go down the shop and buy a big container of pure water or whatever. Just get it out of the tap and aerate the chlorine off it. Okay, but it won't remove fluoride, so don't try that. Okay, to this we're going to add 4 cups of sugar. I might add that there was 28 individual tea bags of tea, and it's just a cheap tea down at the local supermarket. Don't have to buy the expensive stuff. So that's 28 tea bags. I had 2 litres of water. All I normally do, I just put that on the stove. I don't light it up. I go and get a electric kettle or something like that, boil the water, pour it on the tea bags, and till I fill up almost to the top, and then just whack the lid on and leave it for 24 hours. So you don't even need to use gas or heat it up or anything. It's all about saving time to a large degree. Just put that out of the way. Now you just stir the sugar in until you can't hear it anymore. There's a grainy, gravelly feel at the bottom as the sugar grains are moving around. It only takes a couple of minutes, but I might, for your convenience, speed this section up. Alright, that's pretty well done. I can hear a couple of grains, but that doesn't matter. Now you just get that ready, that's the whole idea, and put that aside. We'll come back to this in a second. Alrighty, our sugary syrup is ready. Now, what I've got here is some large BPA free jugs with a tap on the bottom. Now, they hold about 8 litres each. I don't fill them right up. And then I pour a lot of kombucha in there. This is the first ferment. We're getting ready for the second ferment. Here's with the mother, the SCOBY. You can see there's lots of layers there all the way. Quite happy and healthy. I always stir up the stuff off the bottom a little, and then you just tip it in. Put the bottle aside, ready to fill up. And you just repeat this over and over again. Very easy. All told, I've made 15 litres of kombucha in the first ferment here. There's 3 litres a bottle, if you're wondering. Total of 15. You don't get 15 because you need a certain amount of the old mix to sort of inoculate, but really help with the pH of the next batch that you're going to make. That stabilises it, ready to allow the bacteria and stuff and yeast to get a hold of it safely. So we've got 6 litres there, 6 litres there, so we've got a total of 12 at the moment. Now what I do with the last bottle of 3 litres is I use it then to add to make the new batch. Now what I do for 3 litres, I put in 1.5 cups of the first ferment of kombucha, so that really works out about 3/4 of a cup, half a cup to a litre, if you're wondering what ratio there. So it's half a cup of the old kombucha to help prepare the new one. And I can go up to 3. Like that. Doesn't have to be exact. Then I pour in 1.5 for the first one. Make sure I'm round about right. Don't worry if you put in too many, a little bit too much in any of them, or being exactly right. Just aim for about that. So fill them up. Now I want to refill this bottle, so what I do, I take aside my 1.5 for the 3 litres I'm going to make. Put that aside, 2 secs, and then I'll just try to throw around about an even amount into both bottles there. So I'd have 6 1/3 litres in each one of those, or thereabouts. So now that I've done that, I can throw that into there, and that's ready to go. Okay. Now, for your second ferment, you want to add some nice, delicious fruit of some sort. Now you can chop up fruit and throw it in. You can go and get berries, frozen berries, like I have in the previous video. Throw them in, blueberries or raspberries or strawberries or blackberries or mulberries. whatever you want. But a simple method I've developed is you just get a can of fruit. Now you can use peaches, pears, apples, it's quite nice. We've been trying lately a fruit salad and have found it quite, with this tin open, quite good. Okay, so all you do, now you can measure this carefully in a jug if you wish, for all those technical folks, but all I do is just tip in a good bit. It looks about half, not quite, that's about half, and I'll throw the rest in there. Alright. Done. So we've got a total of about 13.5 litres sitting there approximately. Now you can drink that straight away if you want, because you can drink kombucha straight, there's nothing wrong with it. Or you can leave it for a couple of days, or even tomorrow, tonight, whenever. Just get into it. If you leave it too long, it'll get a little bit bitter. Now I always buy mine with juice, I never get the syrup one. If you did get syrup, you'd want to leave it for say 4 days to try to allow the bacteria and yeast to feed on the sugar that's in the syrup, so you're getting back to a healthy drink again. So it shouldn't matter a real lot. If you're trying low carb, high fat, ketogenic, you're probably best to let it sit there for a while so it just eats up the sugars a little bit. But you do actually get the fruit salad flavour, and it tastes a little bit like a punch as well. Just if you're wondering what it might taste like. Okay, now that we've got that done, we can put them aside, bring these forward. Always try and get BPA free containers, unless you want to become infertile. You think that's good? Right, so we've inoculated all them now, or raised the pH of each one so it's nice and stable. So you want to put in, I'll just put them back a little bit, in the syrup. Okay, this is the syrup we made a minute or two ago, and poor old jug's broken. You could have made this in a big jug, something. Try and put an even amount of the tea syrup into each. You use a lot of preciseness in how much you put in. Very accurate type of science this is. Very important. As long as you're within a bull's roar, as they say, you'll be right. You could just guess how much you got in each bottle there. Right. Looks about right. Now remember, every time you make a batch, you will create a new baby on the top. That's what that one is there. And if you want to know, if you're going to eat the mother, the baby is usually the nicest bit. Now let's say you're getting too much and your mother's getting something like that. Well, you can still use it, there's nothing wrong with it, but eventually you're going to have more mother than you are going to have kombucha, and that sort of defeats the purpose a little. Okay? So my next step is to get the dechlorinated water. Don't ever consider using water with chlorine in it. Don't ever consider using water with fluoride in it. So what I do, I fill it up to about there. I've sort of learnt by experience that that's how much it needs. When you get your containers, you'll work out how much is in it and how much you need, and experience will soon teach you. Experience is a wonderful thing. Okay. These bottles were actually all purified water once, that I bought down at the local grocery store, supermarket, and I've been using them for my own drinking water as well as making kombucha and stuff. Because you don't want the chlorinated water in your stomach because it kills the bacteria in there. It's like taking a mini antibiotic to a degree each time. Alright, so I'm back to about 3 litres a container. Being a bit fussy here. Okay. Then you should just plonk your mother back in there like that. Your SCOBY. Symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. I even know the word. Okay. Probably got that one there a little bit full. Now let's say we want to fix that up. All you do is you pull him out. Take off one of the bottom bits like that. You can eat that. I often do. Won't do any harm. It's got a funny taste. I must admit that. Alright. Just put that one just to the side. And then I just use that last little bit, sort of like putting them to bed. So you know that that mum's on top is quite safe. Always try and line them up. Now you can see these rags have got a little bit interesting. They're just bed sheets. I've been using them for ages. Some of these rags are like a year or so old. So don't look at that and go, ew, that's disgusting. Well, no it's not. Remember the old saying, fight fire with fire? Well, I'm fighting bacteria with bacteria. I keep the bacteria away from me by using good bacteria. And that's a very sound system, I believe. Alright, these are a bit newer. These are about 6 months, 4 months old. They don't have quite that brown look about them. Okay, there we go. Now just a quick recap. We've got 15 litres here, 5 lots of 3. We use 4 cups of sugar for the 15 litres. We use dechlorinated water, nothing with chlorine in it. Half a cup of the old batch for each litre. So we got a total of 7.5 cups of the old batch of kombucha to do the 15 litres. Alright, and I should put that in the description for you. So if you can't follow me, which most people can't, I have trouble following me. I'll put that in the description for you to figure out if you want to further go at it. So I've just tried to show a different method of how to make kombucha quicker and easier in a large batch. And have a good day.